Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to show everybody the new printing of the Dirt Gems Oracle. As you can see, I have the first edition, which is an indie print. This is the second edition, which was independently printed. And now the deck has been picked up for publishing. It'll be more widely available. So congratulations to Anne and Chelsea on that. I've done some videos in the past because I love this deck so much. So there are decks on my channel with the first and second edition of the deck. I'm going to talk today about the new edition. So it comes in this really lovely box with a magnetic closure. It's about, I don't know, it's a little smaller than some of the like really large box tarot decks, but I think it's a pretty good size. You open it up, it has beautiful printing inside. It has the book and it has the deck. I love, 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 love that this deck comes in its own box inside, because this is a deck I adore using outdoors, and especially when we go on hikes. So it's so nice not to have the cards just loose inside the bigger box. They're in their own box. I can throw this in my bag when we go hiking. So let me set aside the box and the book for the moment, and we'll take a look quick at the cards in comparison to, probably compare to the second edition, since that's what's been most recently available. So it comes in a tuck box. It has a really bright orange printing inside and beautiful printing on the outside. This deck is actually a little bit larger than the previous edition. So let me pull the second edition out and I will show you. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm so bad at that. Did I do it? Maybe. Okay. So the original edition of these decks, I think, was standard tarot size, which is 4 3/4 inches long, 4.75. And the new deck is 3 inches by 5 inches. The old deck and the new deck have gilding, but the second edition had this shiny gilding, which has actually held up really well. You know, considering that this is a deck I kind of take out and about with me. I'm not a huge fan of super shiny gilding, so I actually really enjoy this sort of matte yellowy gold coloring on the edges of the new deck. As you can also see, probably, maybe if I do like this, the new deck has a thicker cardstock, so the deck is a little taller than the previous edition. I know a lot of people really like a thicker cardstock, so if that's what you're into, you will find that in this deck. As far as the printing goes, I found, you know, the colors to be the color to be kind of comparable. I think, you know, both printings are very beautiful. I prefer a matte edge, so I really like that about the new deck. The backs are, I think the first edition had a slightly different back, but the second edition and the new edition have the same backs on them. So I'm gonna put this one away. I'm not gonna do a full like flip through of the deck, just because I'm pretty sure I did that before. There are flip through videos available. As far as I could tell, it was the exact same number of cards. It's still a 65 card deck. It's just that, and it's still a you know, like a matte finish, sort of a matte. It's not, I'm not sure if it's like a satin. I think I'd call this like fully matte. Also, look at that nettle card. Isn't that amazing? I just think this is one of the most beautiful decks. If you have any interest in plants in your practice, you know, or you just enjoy oracle decks and you just enjoy these like vibrant colors, like you cannot go wrong with this deck. I cannot say enough good things about it. It's been one of my favorites for quite a long time. And I'm really grateful that I was gifted a copy so that I could make a video and show everybody, because I just feel like I just feel like so many people would enjoy this deck and get a lot out of it. I just think it's a really interesting deck to read with as well. But like, I'm not going to flip through every single one, but I will show at least some of my favorites. Where's Elder? I know you're in here somewhere in that. Oh, Mugwort is another one of my absolute favorite cards. There's just something like really stunning about this with the kind of the black and white, like, and the negative, and then the way the snake kind of goes from side to side, and so does like the rainbow. I can't say enough good things about this deck. One of my other favorite cards is Elder. I just think that this is stunning. If I could get a poster of this to hang in my house, I would. Because I just think the art on that is really inspired. I also just love that a lot of these plants that are featured are plants that are pretty commonly found in my area. Irises are everywhere. Spring is springing. Ours will be up soon. You know, if we have mint that grows wild, but I also grow my own mint. Mugwort, which was a card I showed, like I grow that. You know, a lot of these things are kind of things I see in my area or things that I grow in my garden as someone who's, you know, kind of interested in chickweed is everywhere here. Of course, literally all over the place. And clary sage is one I grow in my garden. You know, dandelion and whatnot. Most of this deck is really brightly colored, but there is a section that is black and white, and I really, really love, where is this one? This card just reminds me of the Thea's Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarot, and with this like beautiful black and white images and the stars, it reminds me of that. And then I have like I enjoy that because that's just one of my favorite tarot decks. But look at the Datura with the like the detail on the scorpion. Like, these cards are just really stunning in person. And then when you get to the colored section, just like the vibrancy of them is, you know, it's amazing. Black walnut, they grow everywhere here. Such a fantastic tree, can be used as a dye, and I've dyed my own fabrics with it. It's so fun to look through this deck and see so many things that you would probably recognize, but there's also some things that I'm less familiar with, and so that's an opportunity to maybe learn something a little bit new. Wild Yam, also one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the book in just a second. I will say that the size of the cards is a little difficult for me because I have small hands, so I would not be able to do a riffle shuffle on this deck. I think you could if your hands were normal human size, but this will be an overhand shuffle for me. And I don't find that I get too much sticking, you know, from the cards. They shuffle really nicely. It is a new deck, so there's, you know, some of, I get a little bit of clumping, but I think that's gonna, you know, kind of ease itself out as I use it more, which I will be, and there will be probably quite a lot posted on my Instagram. So if you want to see some more shots of this deck out in the wild, you can check out my Instagram. There's also quite a few pictures of this deck on my Instagram from previous editions and years past, because this is probably one of my favorite spring and summer decks, just because of a lot of the vibrancy of it and just the beauty of it. It just kind of speaks to springtime and to summer, in my opinion. So as far as the book goes, let me grab that. It's a little bit smaller than the second edition book. It's the same width, but it's a little shorter. And I noticed that, you know, the content when I went through is pretty much the same. It does have these beautiful end pages that I just think are incredibly vibrant and gorgeous. And the previous book had images in black and white, but the new book has all the cards that are color, all their images are in color, which I think is fantastic as well. I noticed that on a couple of the cards, there was a little bit maybe cropped from the from like the verbiage of the card. And I'm assuming that was due to space, but I didn't really find anything that took away from, you know, the meaning or the, you know, being able to read the card. I just found, I didn't find that it was obtrusive or that there was much missing. Some of the card text reads exactly the same as it did in the previous book. So I don't think it's, for me, it's not an area of major concern. It's a good sized book. Every book has its own, like a two-page spread. It's got the card, and then it's got a page of information about the card. The only thing I would probably change, I think it's the same way in the previous books. The only thing that I would change is I would have the number at the top, just so when you're flipping through, you don't have to look down here to find, like if you're looking for card number 40, you have to look down the bottom, and I guess my eye naturally goes more toward the top. But that's a pretty small quibble, I think. Like, it's not a big deal. You just hold it this way and you can find the number of the card. They're all in order, chronological order. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I've worked with this deck, you know, pretty extensively, and I just cannot, I cannot recommend it enough. I think they did a really beautiful job with the new edition of the deck. I think that people are going to really enjoy working with it. If you already have a copy of, you know, one of the indie editions, and maybe you don't want to, you want to like maybe shelve that and have a, you know, kind of like a mass market edition to take around with you, I think this is going to be perfect for that. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to retire my indie editions, and then this will be the edition that I, you know, continue to work with, and especially that I take around with me. So the deck is available as of March 12th, which is the day that I plan to post this video. So when you see this, you should be able to order it if you are interested in doing so. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thanks for checking out my video.